Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits, and we're dressed for Valentine's Day.
We are indeed. We've
Yes,
got the
we
colors
are.
going.
We've got the festive going on. So before we get into our show, I wanted to thank our sponsor again, Carrie Krause, and tell you that Carrie wants you to know, regardless of the real estate transaction, she is here to help you 100%. So whether it's single-family residential, multifamily, condos, vacant land, commercial property, or even a business opportunity, Carrie can assist you. And even if she can't help, she will refer you to the best person for the job. Carrie takes pride in her work ethic and will go the extra mile to be sure that your buying or selling experience is positive. So call, text, email anytime with questions to get her working for you towards your real estate goals. Thanks again, Carrie, for your help. So Steve, boys basketball.
Yeah, and senior night over at Edmonds-Woodway on Monday night of this week, and senior night for a team that had already wrapped up the Wesco 3A South. And as we can see on the pictures there, one of our seniors, Jordan Rice, Jordan with his brother Brad, and a very nice scene there as we know, Jordan losing his father last year unexpectedly, and the two boys losing their mother a few years earlier than that. So it's good to see Brad and Jordan out there having that moment together. I think we also have a picture of Brady Edwards, who was also celebrating senior night with his family.
Yeah, and Brady has an interesting story because his grandfather, Wayne Edwards, has been in the basketball world for a long time, and in fact is an assistant coach now with the Linwood girls team. So it's great to see Brady doing so well athletically, and great to see our seniors. And there were actually 4 seniors recognized.
There were David Woodard and Gregory Lazinski also honored on that night. So congratulations to them.
Yep.
And like I said, they're not done playing basketball.
No, they're not.
As a matter of fact, that's a nice segue for us. Edmonds-Woodway starting off their district playoff, the first round on Friday night, with a nice 88-61 victory over Shorewood. David Woodard, who we just mentioned, one of the seniors, he came out and had 22 points. Trey Holland had a huge night, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. And the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors moving on to the semifinals. This is a tournament in which 8 teams are participating. The top 3 in a double elimination tournament move on to regionals. So Edmonds-Woodway already taking one step closer. They make it to the semifinals. Another team that's going to join them in the semifinals and play on the other side of the bracket, it's the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks. They also played their first round game on Friday night, and they come away with a 65-48 victory over Arlington. Daniel Johnson, another big night for him. He had 19 points.
And I think we have a photo of him.
We do have a picture of Daniel shooting over one of the Arlington defensive players there. That's Brandon Wiersma for the Eagles. And along with Daniel's 19 points, Shimron Masih had a nice night, 12 points, 11 rebounds. Derek Anima had 12 points. Kyrie Armstead, I'll get your name right eventually, Kyrie. I've only said it a million times. He had a great defensive game, shutting down Arlington's star offensive player, Drew Bryson, holding him to single digits. So really a nice win for the Hawks. So on Tuesday night, over at Jackson High School, as we now move into the semifinals, it's played on neutral sites. We will have a 6 p.m. game between Glacier Peak and Mount Lake Terrace. So that's semifinal game number 1. That will be followed by Edmonds-Woodway versus Ferndale. So we're thinking that should tip off at around 8 o'clock. The winner of those 2 games advanced to the championship game on Saturday night, which would be an 8 o'clock game. If you make it to the championship game of districts, you automatically qualify for regionals. You still want to win that district championship game. It means you get to cut down the nets and put a plaque up in your own building to celebrate that. So that'll be a huge game either way. So we could have an Edmonds-Woodway Mount Lake Terrace championship game. Stay tuned. If either of those 2 teams lose on Tuesday night, they would then have to go through the consolation bracket. Again, if either one of them lose Tuesday, they will host another team yet to be determined on Thursday night for a consolation opportunity. And if they keep winning through that side of the bracket, if need be, they would play at 2:15 on Saturday, also at Jackson, in a 3rd place game, and for a right to go to the regionals, which would take place the following weekend.
Right, and we know for sure that we are going to be broadcasting at least the 2 championship games on Saturday night.
Yeah, and we do know that stspn.com will be broadcasting the semifinal games that we just mentioned on Tuesday night as well. So you can watch Mount Lake Terrace at 6 o'clock, Edmonds-Woodway at 8 o'clock, stspn.com. And like I said, hopefully we'll be watching 2 victorious teams, and it could be a fun district championship if we get the Warriors and the Hawks in there together.
Very exciting.
And one other mention here, Meadowdale's season did come to an end last week. They were able to get into a qualifying tiebreaker game against Shorewood. Actually jumped out to a nice start. They had a 13-point lead at one point before Shorewood started shooting their way back in with threes. Meadowdale team that had 10 wins on the season. So again, Roger O'Neill, first-year head coach, only 4 seniors on that team. They had an outstanding season, so congratulations to the Mavericks as well.
Yeah, they should be doing good things in the future with
Absolutely.
that coach and those players. And then we had the girls.
We did. 2 of our teams that qualified just happened to be playing each other. Again, this is double elimination also, so 8 teams playing for 3 spots. Linwood and Edmonds-Woodway drawing each other in the first round. So unfortunately for us, we knew one of our teams was going to lose. And I think we had a pretty good feel as to who that was going to be. Nothing against Edmonds-Woodway. Linwood's the defending state champs. And
ranked number 1 in the state.
Ranked number 1 in the state. Ranked number, I think, 14th in the nation, according to Max Preps. And I'll tell you what, Edmonds-Woodway played a heck of a game on Saturday night. They came out, they took the lead early. We've got a picture of Maddie Burdette right there, dribbling the basketball. Maddie's twin sister, Allie, had 2 big 3-pointers in the first quarter. Edmonds-Woodway jumped out to a nice lead, and they actually had the lead with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter before Linwood came back. Linwood ends up taking the lead, pulling away a little bit, but Edmonds-Woodway reels them back in before Linwood pulls away for a 56-44 victory at the end. We've got a picture there of Michaela Pivick, the all-state player who's going to be playing basketball at Oregon State next year. Michaela, all she did was score 31 points the other night, was 15 of 16 from the free throw line, led her team in scoring, obviously, and Jordan Edwards there as well, one of our other all-state basketball players who will be going to Colorado State next year as she puts up a shot over one of the Warrior defensive players. And so Linwood advances into the semifinals where they will be playing Stanwood Wednesday night at 7:45. That game also on a neutral site, so they'll be over at Shorecrest High School. If you want to get there a little bit earlier, you can watch the other semifinal game, which will be Glacier Peak versus Arlington. So the winner of those 2 games moving on to the championship game, 6 p.m. on Saturday night. That game will also be broadcasted on stspn.com. For Edmonds-Woodway, they go into the consolation bracket, so there's no more room for error for them. They have to either win out or they're done for the year. They play at Ferndale on Wednesday. If they can win that game, they would play at either Glacier Peak or Arlington on Friday. And if they can win that game as well, then they would play in a consolation third-place game on Saturday at Jackson High School for the right to maybe grab that last spot into regionals.
You know, and you don't want to count them out because a few years ago the Warriors did that. They fought their way back through all the consolation brackets and ended up going to state. You just never know.
If you can play Linwood to a 12-point game, you've got a good shot. And if they're peaking at the right time, and you've got a couple of great players on there who have been together for quite some time with Burdette, Missy Peterson also for that matter, and a few of those other players. Maddie Tudor was the leading scorer the other night. If the Warriors get rolling, I definitely wouldn't count them out.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And of course, we had more wrestling action and lots of wrestlers.
Yeah, it was regional finals, and that took place at Marysville-Pilchuck over the weekend. Started early on Saturday morning and went into the evening. You needed to finish in the top 4 of your weight class in order to get to the state tournament, which takes place at the Tacoma Dome next week. That's the famous Mat Classic. And if anybody, if you've never been there before, it's quite the spectacle. There's 24 wrestling mats spread out throughout the floor, and we had a few of our wrestlers not only qualify, but 4 of them from the district actually won their weight class. One of them is the picture right there that we're showing. That's Mitchell Martinez, the 106-pound wrestler from Edmonds-Woodway. He pulls a victory out, so he's going to state. We've got another picture to show. That's Riley Seward, also from Edmonds-Woodway. He won the 145-pound class. 2 other wrestlers from Edmonds-Woodway that also won their weight class, Abrema Fateh and Sadat Kanye. They won the 113 and 120-pound weight classes. And we've got some other pictures to show you kind of while we're talking about these guys. These are various pictures of the weight classes and the podium finishes. So these young wrestlers all finished in the top 4 in their weight class, and by doing so, they qualified to go to the Tacoma Dome. A few other wrestlers from the Edmonds School District that also qualified, finishing in 2nd place in their weight class. We had Nate Paulson from Linwood. He took 2nd in the 132-pound weight division. Mason McDaniel took 2nd for the 160-pound weight division. He's also an Edmonds-Woodway Warrior. And then Spencer Schultz took 2nd in the 182-pound weight class. another Warrior, surprise, surprise. And overall, out of 15 schools that were at the regional finals, Edmonds-Woodway takes second, coming in right behind Arlington. All told, we had 10 Edmonds-Woodway Warriors qualify for the Tacoma Dome, 3 Linwood Royals, 3 Mount Lake Terrace Hawks, and 2 Meadowdale Mavericks. 18 wrestlers all going down to the T-Dome next weekend, so it should be fun. And that gets underway Friday morning and goes all the way through Saturday evening.
It's really great stuff. And swimming, we have some state going on?
We do. It was regional finals for swimming as well, and that was taking place up at the Snohomish Aquatic Center. And these are swimmers that were trying to qualify for the state championships next Friday and Saturday, which will be taking place at the King County Aquatic Center down in Federal Way. And a quartet of Meadowdale Mavericks making it down to the state tournament. These 4 young men, Jack Busby, Casey Barnett, Kyle Weiss, and Gunnar Brent, they won the 200 medley relay outright for their regional finals, so they're going to be qualifying and taking place in the state finals for that, as well as the 200 freestyle relay. So those 4 will be busy. 2 of those individuals I just mentioned also qualified for individual state finals. Kyle Weiss is going to be taking part in the 100 butterfly as well as the 100 backstroke, and Jack Busby will be joining him in the 100 backstroke. So congratulations to those Mavericks, and looking forward to seeing what you guys can do down in Federal Way next weekend.
Yeah, and good luck to all of those state qualifiers for the district. We will be having a report on the results next weekend when we do our next show.
Absolutely. So again, wrestling and swimming wrapping up. Hopefully maybe we're talking about state champions by then, and we'll know who the district champions are for basketball by this time next week.
Very good. Okay. Anything we missed?
We've covered it all. It should be a fun week.
Good. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week on This Week in High School Sports.